Reliance is one of India's biggest conglomerates, with businesses across the world engaged in energy, petrochemicals, textile, natural resources, retail, and telecommunication. It is also the largest publicly traded company in India by market capitalization, which in November 2019 stood at rupees 10 lakh crore or close to 150 billion US dollars. More than 70% of its revenue comes from oil refining. But as demand for cleaner and greener technologies increases, major oil companies in the world are starting to explore other business verticals. Reliance is no different. For Reliance, data is the new oil. The Jio logo seems to represent the past and future of Reliance. Oil is what had propelled Reliance to become India's biggest company in the 20th century. When flipped over into the 21st, it's probably going to be Jio. Launch of Reliance Jio in 2016 absolutely disrupted the Indian telecom industry. Millions of Indians gained regular access to the internet for the first time in their life. Reliance Jio became India's largest telecom operator in just 3 years of starting operations. They now command an impressive 38% market share, which translates to 370 million active users. To put this in perspective, it is more than the entire US population. India's mobile data consumption ranking jumped from 155th to 1st. India's data usage per smartphone rose to 11 GB per month from just 0.7 GB per month in 2016. Mobile data consumption per user is growing at 152% annually, more than twice the rate in the United States and China. Data costs fell by 95% to $0.26 per GB, which is the lowest in the world. So how did all of this happen? Pre-Jio, the Indian telecom market stats were like these. There were 100 crore mobile subscriptions in India for a population of 125 crores. However, only 34% of the Indian population was connected to the internet. Among those using mobile phones, only 10% used 3G data or above. These figures made it clear the voice call market was a saturating market, as most of the population had mobile phone access. The next big challenge was the internet. Future opportunity was in providing inexpensive data connection to the huge Indian population. For this, Reliance Jio invested close to 1.5 lakh crore into the 4G network infrastructure. To put this in perspective, this is more than 2 times the combined investment of Airtel, Idea, and Vodafone in the 4G segment. Reliance Jio laid out 2.7 lakh kilometers of fiber across the country, which would become the foundation of Reliance 4G service infrastructure. And finally, on 5th September 2016, Jio launched the much anticipated service in India. They offered free SIM cards with free data for 3 months and then promised a price which was about 30 times less than the competition. All this with unlimited free calls and no roaming charges whatsoever. They could pull this off because once the high investment 4G network infrastructure was in place, the cost of operation of the network was not very high. They used this to aggressively get customers on their network. To give you an idea of how disruptive it was, in October 2016, other operators were offering 1 GB of 3G data per month for approximately 200 rupees. And here was Reliance Jio, 1 GB of 4G data per day for free. For customers who did not have 4G enabled phones, Reliance offered affordable 4G smartphones and feature phones under its Life brand and bundled them with extra data benefits. For a short while in 2016, Reliance Jio's Life became India's third largest selling phone brand. In 2017, it released JioPhone, the 1500 rupees feature phone with 4G VoLTE enabled on it, and Kai OS, which also enabled the use of apps like Google Voice Search, WhatsApp, Facebook, multiple games, and more. On top of that, Jio developed an entire ecosystem of apps and services and gave free access to all Jio users. Services like Jio TV for live TV viewing, Jio Chat for instant messaging, Jio Cinema for on-demand TV series and movies, Jio Savan for music streaming, and much more. This strategy quickly brought 4G into every Indian home and single-handedly changed the data consumption habit of the entire country. Combined with cheap Jio phones, even those with modest means like farmers and daily wage workers finally had the platform they needed to participate in the modern Indian economy. With the ongoing launch of Jio Fiber and Jio set-top box, Reliance Jio is all set to expand its ecosystem even further and disrupt even more business verticals.